Hello again, everyone. Edwin Learnard back once again. In this YouTube astrological segment, I'm going to be dissertating and talking about zodiac or astrological sign compatibility between Leo and Virgo. And yes, it does apply and pertain to the sun, moon, and ascendant for both people. Well, anyway, these signs are adjacent by sign. I see this as neutral as far as the compatibility by sign. You have a Leo, which of course is a masculine sign, which suggests extroversion and gregariousness. And you have Virgo, being a feminine sign, is more introverted. And Leo and Virgo is more about privacy. And you have these signs are very strongly different, or in that way there's a very strong disparity between them. And Leo can often be flamboyant and really likes to often stand out amongst others, likes to socialize, likes to go to places, social events. And Virgo is really not so much about that. The thing where they have some similarity, though, I think, is that Virgo is organized and can be very systematic. And even though you don't associate necessarily those traits with Leo, Leo being a fixed sign likes to have a lot of times have things set in a certain way, whether it may be a schedule or the way they go about doing things. And Virgo can be strongly about routine, and Leos generally don't like their routines changed, so maybe they can, I think in that respect, they have certain similarities, and I think they can respect each other for that, and you could have that mutual admiration society from both people to each other. Now, a thing about another contrast in these two people, though, is that you have Leo, which can really be extravagant as far as things of a monetary nature, and they could spend often an exorbitant amount of money on things, where Virgo, it generally is the kind of sign that could be more frugal, and they have they try to stretch that dollar to the maximum. And the thing is, if these people can meet maybe halfway, and maybe Leo can encourage Virgo to splurge once in a while, and it's okay to do this from time to time. And perhaps Virgo can help Leo maybe curtail some of the heavy spending from time to time. And I think that it could be advantageous for both of them. Now, the thing is that Leo, being a fire sign, can be strongly about leadership. Leo can have a domineering type personality in nature. Now, Virgo is the type that can fit into that kind of subservient role, but they might be taken aback by Leo if Leo resorts to some kind of dictatorial tendency. So that is something where Virgo could eventually be rebuffed by. And Virgo can be very punctilious with details, and they might at times, even if it's constructive criticism, they might point out something about Leo that he or she is doing incorrectly, and Leo may be taken aback by that, and that might bruise that Leo ego, so to speak. So that's something to look at. If Virgo can give it constructively in a manner where it comes across in a way where it doesn't sound derisive or negative, then Leo might be able to deal with it a little bit more. I think on one positive with this is that Leo can encourage Virgo to be maybe a little more outgoing and extrovert, and perhaps expand his or her social sphere, while Virgo can maybe kind of say to Leo, well, you don't always have to be going out and doing this, and there's maybe create more time where they could be at home and settle down and kind of relax a little bit, especially if this is if this is a significant other romantic type situation. Now, as far as in the bedroom goes, I think when I look at these two, that what's interesting is that, okay, Virgo is more shy, obviously, than Leo, and maybe this might come across a little bit maybe in the bedroom, because we'll see what I think it is with Virgo. Virgo being an earth sign, they're very premeditative. They like things planned. ahead. And you have Leo being a fire sign can be a little bit more extemporaneous and like maybe will do things on the fly, so to speak, a little bit more. Leo might be a little bit dramatic, and they might, and Leo is the type that's obviously going to want a lot of attention in the bedroom. And the positive thing is that Virgo can be very reliable, and they're very, because they notice the details, they're able to analyze others exceptionally well. They'll be able to detect Leo's erogenous zone, and that is something to look at with this compatibility. And Virgo can actually, like the other two earth signs, I believe, can actually be more demonstrative and sensual than what they really show outwardly to, you know, as far as what you see from them superficially. You don't really expect them to be like this, but they actually can be more so than what the impression they may give other people. So in that respect, they can be right there for Leo, and it could be a good, and it could wind up working out to be a good thing as far as sex between these two people, I believe, as long as they get to know each other a little bit better and understand what each one is really looking for as far as in the bedroom, so to speak. So the thing is also, it's important to look at the aspect, if any, that is made between the energies of these people, as this could indicate perhaps maybe a little better compatibility or maybe not as good as otherwise indicated. Well, anyway, let's say, for example, you could have a conjunction aspect take place between the energies of these people. Now, let's say, for example, one person has the sun, moon, or ascendant in Leo at 28 degrees, and the other person has the sun, moon, or ascendant in Virgo at 2 degrees. Well, this would form an out-of-sign conjunction, which I see as neutral, and couldn't, on the negative side, it can bring a little bit of friction, and it could also, on the positive end, you can have where these people might be able to be have kind of similarities a little bit, because I do believe in cuspal signs, and Leo being at the end of Virgo in this example might exhibit some Virgo characteristics, and Virgo being at the beginning of Virgo might in turn have some Leo. So you might have a little bit more commonality than otherwise indicated, but because you do have the friction, it is a neutral aspect, and that is something to look at if you have this aspect in this relationship, compatibility between these two people. Now, the thing is also, you could also have a semisextile aspect take place between the energies of these people. Let's say, for example, one person has the sun, moon, or ascendant at Leo at 17 degrees, and the other person has the sun, moon, or ascendant in Virgo at 17 degrees. Well, I say this is a minor positive aspect. It is minor. It's a semisextile. It's like a sextile. I call it slightly positive or auspicious because it's not a major aspect. Being a positive minor aspect, you could have a little better harmony than otherwise indicated, but you also have to factor into the equation that they are still neutral by sign as far as compatibility goes. Now, you may also have an out-of-sign sextile aspect take place between the energies of these people. Let's say, for example, one person has the sun, moon, or ascendant at Leo at 1 degree, and the other person has the sun, moon, or ascendant in Virgo at 29 degrees. Well, that would form an out-of-sign sextile aspect, which could be positive and auspicious, and you might have a little better harmony than otherwise indicated, and these people might be able to work through the disparities a little bit better than otherwise indicated by the general compatibility delineation. But keep in mind, though, however, they are still neutral by sign. Now, you could also have a semi-square aspect take place between the energies of these people. Let's say, for example, one person has the sun, moon, or ascendant at Leo at 12 degrees, and the other person has the sun, moon, or ascendant at Virgo at 27 degrees. Well, that would form a semi-square aspect, which I call slightly adverse or adversarial. It is a negative or adverse aspect, but not as strong as the square. But you might have a little bit more challenges and a little bit more obstacles in this aspect than otherwise indicated. So, in any way, people, That'll conclude this YouTube astrological segment for zodiac sign compatibility between Leo and Virgo, and stay tuned next time where I'll be dissertating and talking about zodiac sign compatibility between Leo and Libra. Two things I want to get with you on before I head out. Firstly, the stars may impel but do not compel. And secondly, never isolate any single astrological element, aspect, planetary placement, position, configuration, influence, or what have you, and make an analysis of a person, astrologically speaking, based on this alone. Because astrologically speaking, the person is the sum of all their components in their natal chart, and not just one. Until next time, people, stay well.